Hey everybody, Brandon's back for another Toker Talk. Today we're going to be doing an anime deadbeat dad tier list in celebration of all those fathers out there who weren't everything that they could be. So for all you deadbeats, you suck. For everybody else, happy Father's Day. It's 4 o'clock here at the Kobra home, so let's just jump right into it. Alrighty, so we're going to be starting with Senku's dad from Dr. Stone. Overall, pretty good father. Like, he invested lots of money into his son's interests when he was a child. Goes to space to accomplish his dream, showing good character building skills and things like that, right? Like, pursue your dreams, yada yada yada. Always seemed to care about Senku, believed in Senku well enough to, like, create an entire village just for him, in the hopes that he would one day come back to save the planet. So, I mean, like I say, doesn't get much better. Doesn't get much better than Senku's dad. And then, on the exact opposite spectrum, we have Charles V. Britannia. Code Geass is a series that me and Nick are actually both currently checking out right now. So for Charles, really, the only redeeming feature is that at the very least, he's well-intentioned endgame-wise. Otherwise, though, his means are just terrible. Like, the only way that you can really redeem him is by saying that he's doing everything with, like, his family is a minute part of that vision. But like I say, it's pretty incomparable to the amount of atrocities that he puts them through. So we're actually, we're just gonna throw him on the deadbeat because, like, he has very, very little going for him in the sense of, like, doing anything to actually change that. Like I say, basically his whole thing is just, I'm gonna redo everything, so it doesn't even matter that I was terrible. It's like, no, it still does though. So yeah, we're throwing him on total deadbeat. Jonathan's father, the original Joestar patriarch. So we do have the NA down here. These are just characters that, like, I did watch JoJo, so obviously I know these two, and this guy. I just haven't seen it enough to really getting into the parts where he would have had the kid. I know that's season 3, and you get to see his mom and stuff, but like I say, don't really have a lot of frame of reference for that. Don't have it for Fairy Tail either. That looks a lot like Spike Spiegel to me. Maybe I'm just crazy. I didn't think Spike had a kid, so I'm just completely blanking on that. Don't know these guys. This I thought that was Yujiro Hanma, who I was surprised to not see on this tier list, but I think it's the dad from Food Wars, maybe. I don't know. Either way, I don't think it's Yujiro. If it is Yujiro, total deadbeat immediately. But this guy looks so strikingly familiar. If anybody recognizes him and could leave in the comments who he is, I'd super appreciate it. Like, it bugs me that I can't tell who that is. Anyway, moving on. Like I say, original patriarch of the Joestar family. He seems like a pretty good guy overall, right? Like, obviously, the way Dio turns out probably takes away a couple of those points. But overall, like, adopts his friend's son. Is a good father to Jonathan. Like, he's up there. He's up there. He's definitely up there. Like I say, the way that Dio turns out is really the only big strike against him. And Dio turns out pretty horrifically, so unfortunately he's not getting best father figure, but he's a good dad. He's definitely a good dad. Jonathan himself, good character, good, like, basically would have probably been a good dad if he had survived, right? And that's really the big thing there, is that, like, if you're not in that person's life at all, again, you play a role in, to some degree, how you lived your life prior to that, but, like, that is not very, very big compared to everything else. So, you know, we're just gonna throw a could be better for him, as I recall, anyway. And then this is Dio's dad, who is also gonna get a could be better. Like, as I remember, he was pretty belligerent to his son. Not a great father for most parts, but at the very least, he did hook him up with the living situation. Obviously, again, Dio turns out terribly. That's more so on his biological father, I would say, the Joe's dad, or than the Jonathan's dad. So yeah, he's gonna get a could be better as well. Mainly because he was actually a terrible father, but, like, you know, he was there and he did something for his son, so if that counts for anything. Endeavor. He's definitely going to be one of the more controversial ones, because obviously there's a big split up of the fan base being like, huge asshole because, you know, abusive parent. And also basically only had kids in order to, like, pass on a better power. Weaponize them more than anything. And then there's gonna be the people that are like, what redemption arc, like, he feels bad type deal. But feels don't beat reals. So we're definitely gonna be putting him in the could be better as well. The only reason he's not getting the bad dad is because, again, he does recognize the fault of his actions where we are in the series and works to rectify those things. So yeah, could be better is a pretty apt term. The good old Dragon Ball dads. I love that they included Piccolo. Anyway, though, starting with Vegeta. Vegeta's definitely up there for fathers. He wouldn't get best because he's pretty distant to Trunk when he first meets him. Doesn't actually give a fuck until he dies to do something about it. Kind of distance towards his children even once he does have them. I guess he kind of dotes on his daughter a little bit more. It seems like in GT anyway, but like I say, he's kind of distant. He is there for the important things, though, and values his role as a father much more so than Goku does. So we're gonna, at the very least, give him a good dad. Give him a good dad. Vegeta tries the best that he can, and that's all you can ask of somebody, really. Goku, on the other hand, does not try the best that he could at being a father. At all. Even a little bit. Goku tries the best at what he does is training. And he's damn good at it. And anybody can give him that. But holy fuck when it comes to being a father, dude. He doesn't give a shit. Like, makes Gohan fight in a situation that very clearly he did not want to be in. Throws his enemy a sensu bean, even. Is not there for the majority of his kids' childhoods either. Like, he's not great. He's just not great. So we're definitely throwing him into the could be better category. His kids turn out all right, which obviously, again, Piccolo contributes to that for the first one more so than he ever did. But obviously, Goku, he's a good character, right? Like, he's a good person overall. So that goes a long way for setting like a role model. He's a good role model, setting example. But like I say, overall though, hooey, man. Like, Goku's just not a great dad. Piccolo, however, Piccolo's a fantastic father figure. The problem with Piccolo is obviously that, like, his kid is not his kid. Which, that's fine. Very clearly, you don't need to be related by blood to be somebody's father. It's more so just the fact that, like, he's kind of just forced to do that in the situation, and then the bond is formed through, like, circumstance. Like, you notice that Piccolo hasn't had that attachment to any other children in his life. Like, so I don't know. Like I say, it's not exactly that he had good parental instincts or nothing. It's just, compared to Goku, he's way more of a father to Gohan than Goku ever was. So yeah, we're gonna give him the good dad. Give him the good dad. I think he deserves that. This is good ol' Ichigo's father. As I recall, he didn't tell Ichigo about being a Shinigami. Very, very, like, crucial information to him. Very clearly, considering him and his family are getting attacked by, like, hollows and shit. Doesn't really discipline his kids very well in the sense, like, they don't listen to him very much. They constantly attack this guy, and he constantly attacks them. Like, he's just not a very good example. Yeah, no, and I can't really, like, he cares, I guess, he obviously gives a fuck, but, like, and he's there, I guess he's also there, so yeah, we'll give him a could be better, but yeah, like I say, there, but also just keeping secrets, like, vitally important to their life secrets, but whatever. Moving on to Light's dad. Okay, so Light's dad, especially because we have already used the whole, like, how the kid turned out, comparison to kind of judge a little bit of their parental abilities. The thing with Light that you're obviously gonna think to say, which is that he becomes Kira and is like the main antagonist of that series. Sorry, protagonist turned antagonist type deal. But the big problem with that is essentially that, like, the Death Note series shows that the Death Note power, there's the power corrupts theme inside of it. Everybody who gets the Death Note, regardless of their upbringing, always ends up using it for malicious means. Like, not a single person that touches it is like, wow, that's fucked up. Who would ever do something like that? Especially once they figure out that it's real. So like I say, you can't really blame him for that. And overall, he seemed like a pretty good dad. Like, he ensured that his son got top grades. His daughter seemed to be doing well in school. Like, he seemed to not be an overbearing father, like, but was also somewhat involved in his children's lives. Like, could have been better in a sense, but I'd give him the good dad, obviously, you do have to chuck him some points for the fact that, like, Light still does become Kira, right? Like, we are, like I say, because of the themes of the show, we're mitigating that a little bit, but it's not completely off the board. And then we have Dragon from One Piece. I wish they included Garp on this tier list. Myself, just because, you know, he's obviously, like, more of a parental figure to Luffy than Dragon ever was. Dragon cares about his son, I guess. Again, speculation, I suppose, because we don't know what happened in Logtown, but, like, there's good reason to believe that Dragon interfered in that instance, so we're gonna give that to him. But like I say, like, he's never there, doesn't seem to give that much of a fuck. Also doesn't set that great of an example for his children. Like, he's a world criminal. I guess he's fighting an oppressive power, so, like, that kind of takes away from it. Hard to say. We're gonna go with Bad Dad, just because he saves his son once, but, like, he completely fucks off in all other regards. All the other times Luffy could have very realistically died, Dragon wasn't there. Dragon wasn't giving a shit. So we're gonna say Bad Dad for sure. Then we got Minato from Naruto. As I recall, most of the things he does here is well intentioned, because he gives the Nine-Tails to his son in order to ensure, you know, that he has power to protect himself or some shit like that. I don't know. There was a lot going on in that whole situation that needed to be kind of explained, and there was a lot of exposition that I don't super well remember, but the gist of it is that he's doing all that shit for Naruto. Even though he wasn't there for him, he did implant his chakra and his wife's chakra and all that type of shit. So, you know, we're gonna go with the could have been better, at the very least. Because, like I say, circumstance, I suppose, kind of dictated that he did that, but, like, you didn't need to make your child a Jinchuriki and then completely isolate him for the rest of his life. Like, that, all of that happened to Naruto is still kind of on Minato for the way he handled the situation, so is what it is. And then we got Naruto himself. I've not watched Boruto, so this might be a little bit of a biased judgment, but I have seen clips here and there, and from how I understand the series, like, Boruto ends up cheating. Naruto is a super distant dad, like, constantly busy with the Hokage stuff. Cares about his children deeply, but also didn't learn how to be a father very well, so that's kind of, like, playing a factor in how things are playing out in his life. So, like I say, we're probably going to give him the Bad Dad rating, just because, from what I understand, that's how it seems. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's great. But, like I say, that's he doesn't seem to be doing very well from how I've seen, the limited interaction I've had with the series, rather. Alright, so then we got Gin. Gin's a prick. Like, I get it. I get the whole, he believes in his son, he thinks that he can handle the trials that are ahead, but, like, and if he couldn't, then fuck him type deal. That's where I kind of fall off board, is that it's like, this mentality of just letting your son not have a relationship with you until he's strong enough to. That's weird. That's weird, dude. That's a weird thing to do. Yeah, like, Gin just has very little concern for his own offspring, it seems. And, like, the entire point of Hunter x Hunter is for him to just find his dad. So, I don't know. We're gonna go with total deadbeat. I don't care how obsessed with this guy his son is. Doesn't change the fact that he was still a very absentee father. Had very little to do with it, whatever that was. Killua's dad doing the exact same thing. Like, he's going in deadbeat immediately, and because it trains his children to be assassins, uses them as weapons and, like, bargaining tools, and, like, does not seem to give much of a fuck about them at all, allows the torture of them, will keep them inside and imprisoned if he needs to. Like I say, just overall, not a great guy. Not a great guy. So, total deadbeat dad. And bing bang boom, same with Judge. Like, Judge treats his children like weapons. Has a very, very, very minor redemption at the end, mainly contributed by Sanji. So, like I say, that it barely even shaves off any points. But yeah, he doesn't care about his kids. Tortures them when they're young. Makes them fight against each other, like, just a terrible human being in general. And he doesn't play any differently with his kids. Very consistent guy. Give him that. Give him credit where credit's due. Same with Tucker, if I remember that guy's name correctly. Might not remember his name perfectly. Certainly remember what he did in his series. Oh, God. So yeah, doesn't even matter that he might have been an okay father when, you know, he wasn't using his family to commit inhumane, terrible, just nightmare-inducing experiments on. Because, you know, he did that. He then did that. So yeah, bad dad. Bad dad. Couldn't possibly be a worse father than to take your own daughter and then try to make some chimera hybrid just so you can get some fucking grant money, dude. Like, god damn. It's bad. It's bad. So yeah, fuck Tucker. Then we have Hohenheim. So we're going off of Brotherhood this time around. Also, yeah, that might make a difference too, I suppose. The original Full Metal Alchemist, he does try to get his daughter back, which some people might consider redeeming. I still think he's trash, but that's just my opinion. But we are going with the Brotherhood interpretation, just because that's the one I'm more familiar with. It's been a long, long time since I've watched the original anime. Anyway, though, so Brotherhood, terrible person. Hohenheim, however, in the Brotherhood iteration, actually pretty good dad, doing a lot for his children. The biggest problem here is that he's not there for them very much, but, like, even in that way, he still does kind of, he crops up every now and again. And also, it leaves them behind a lot of mementos to help them along their journey. So we're, it's a cross between could be better or good dad, but we're leaning towards good dad. Just because, and I mean, he does help them save the world or whatever. Alright, he does kind of conspire into them having that whole situation happen, and he knows that that's taking place too, and he chooses to have kids. Yeah, I guess he is kind of a selfish prick in that way. We're gonna go with could be better. I think that's fair analogy. So yeah, we only got the one best fatherly figure, but in the total deadbeat dad tier list, that makes sense. The two adoptive fathers ranking very, very high here. So good for them. Awesome. Alrighty, guys, that was my deadbeat dad tier list. I hope you have a great Father's Day, and yeah, if you'd like to, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and follow the hash.